Race number 5 at Ascot on Saturday will jump at 3:20. It's the first of the Group 3s. It's the RJ Peters Stakes over the 1500 metres, obviously in honour of RJ Peters. We just call him Bob. In replay, we're going to have a look at one of Bob's horses, and that's Regal Power.
Run dropping out, prize catches last. Alpha Sky had reached the lead from Wrigley at the 250. Here comes Regal Power and Sammersdat together. Regal Power, Sammersdat drawing on equal terms with 100 left to go. It's Sammersdat on the outside, grabbing the lead now from Regal Power, and Sammersdat races away to win the Asian Bow.
This looks like a match race for me between number 2 Regal Power and number 7 Platoon. We've got a really good gauge on how they went in their last starts. They both ran over the same trip on the same day, and Platoon ran significantly slower than Regal Power. Now, I know there's a bit of a weight swing here. It's about 4 kilos, but I think the times are significant. Regal Power might have to win this race to get into the railway. He might not go around. That's why Chris Parnham is riding instead of William Pike. But for the purposes of tipping on a Thursday, Regal Power goes on top. From number 7, Platoon, he's won 2 in a row. He definitely needs to win this race to get into the RJ Peters. He won't get in any other way. He's dead set low flying, and Stephen Parnham loves this horse 2 bits. I think the forgotten horse might be number 4, Neurological. He placed 3rd in the Northern Cup. He copped a couple of bumps in that race. He gets on really, really well with William Pike, but Jabin Nort rides here with William Pike on Mississippi Delta, and that's the 4th pick, number 3, Mississippi Delta. She's only won one race shorter than 1600 metres in her entire career, and I wouldn't be taking too much note of the jockey booking. I'm sure that Regal Power, if he goes around, is definitely the top selection. Top selection in race number 5 is number 2, Regal Power, to beat 7 Platoon, 4 Neurological and 3 Mississippi Delta. Race number 6 at Ascot on Saturday will jump at 4:02. It's the listed race on the program. It's the Ccorp Ascot Gold Cup over the 1800 metres, looking towards the Perth Cup, some of these horses. In replay, we're going to have a look at the last start performance and win of Forceful.
Clear last Freo, but Red Publisher led them at the top of the home straight. 300 to go from Paradise Square. There's no run really down on the inside. Harry Thomas. Here comes Forceful now with his challenge, with 150 still left to run, and Forceful ranges up and he grabs Paradise Square. Midnight Sky down the outside is charging home late, but the favourites...
Looking at speed ratings, you'd think that Forceful only has to reproduce what he did in the replay race, or even in the race before that when he was just touched off by Cockney Crew, to win this race on Saturday. His connections seem to have worked him out. He can win over the 1600, he can win over the 1800. He's on the quick back up here off the 7 days after beating Harry Thomas in the replay race. He tracked into that race and never looked like losing. He goes on top. From number 11, Noir Daru resumes here. He's had 77 days off. Justin Warwick and Jade McNaught combined. Jade can't claim here, so just the 54 kilos. He's weighted to get the better of Spiritual Warrior, who comes from the same yard, which brings me on to that horse, the Kalgoorlie Cup winner, number 2 here. He resumes as well. He hasn't had a run for 42 days. What I love about this horse is he can win off both slow tempos, fast tempos. He puts himself in the firing line, and he's really, really tough. Has to go in the numbers. And then number 1, Prize Catch, won this race 12 months ago, but there was a massive incident at the barriers before the race. Half the field came out. It became a pretty soft listed race. Good on him for winning it, but he only goes in the minors here. Top selection in race number 6 is number 4, Forceful, to beat 11 Noir Daru, 2 Spiritual Warrior and 1 Prize Catch. Race number 7 at Ascot on Saturday will jump at 4:37. It's probably the main event. It is the Breast Cancer Care WA Champion Filly Stakes over 1600 metres. It's a Group 3. It really is the Ascot Racing Carnival for the 3-year-old fillies. In replay, we're going to go back to the Burgess Queen Stakes on Melbourne Cup Day and focus on KC.
Hip wiggle, Tuscan Queen starts its run, and so does KC. Can Boomtastic keep going at the 200 mark? It's only 2.5 lengths in front. Tuscan Queen and KC starting to charge at it. Tuscan Queen joined by KC. KC, Tuscan Queen, they split it together, and KC's got the...
KC beat Tuscan Queen fair and square in the Burgess Queen Stakes, and believe it or not, actually meets Tuscan Queen better at the weights here. Gets a kilo difference. Does get a horrible gate in gate number 14, but can race pretty close to the speed for Stephen Parnham. And just on that form, I find it really, really hard to have Tuscan Queen as the favourite. So KC goes on top from the aforementioned number 4 Tuscan Queen. May well be better suited to the 1600 metres, perhaps more so than KC, but just simply on that run a couple of weeks ago, I've got an issue with the prices. I think they're probably joint favourites. The smoky in this race is number 5, Special Choice. Comes out of the Belgravia Stakes where the boys ran against the girls. Finished second in that race behind Jericho Missile. That's a very strong foreline. It might even be stronger than what we saw in the Burgess Queen Stakes. We'll find out at 4:37 on Saturday. And then number 7, Santa Brianna, was third behind KC and Tuscan Queen in the Burgess Queen Stakes. There was a gap, only goes in the minors. I think this is a race in 2 or 3. Top selection in race number 7 is number 2, KC, to beat 4 Tuscan Queen, 5 Special Choice and 7 Santa Brianna. Race number 8 at Ascot on Saturday will jump at 5:12. It is the South African Airways Colonel Reeves Stakes, a Group 3 over 1100 metres. Colonel Reeves, the man who founded the West Australian Surf Club in 1852. Someone who's not that old is number 6, Flirtini. She is just 4 and she's flying at the moment. Let's have a look at the last start performance.
The heels with Flirtini into the home straight. Rebel King comes at Copper Fury. Now there's a run coming for Misty Medal and she quickly bursts through down the outside. Flirtini and Valor Road. Misty Medal at the 100 mark, but look at Flirtini. Flirtini went to Misty Medal down the outside stage man, but it's Flirtini home in the Prince of Wales. Flirtini
surprised a lot of people, including the very astute Simon Miller when she won the Prince of Wales Stakes. It wasn't that she wasn't up to winning a Group 3 race. It was simply the trip over the 1,000 metres. I think a lot of people thought that she would probably find one too good, but she was absolutely outstanding. She steps up to the 1100 here. I think most people have got her pegged as 1200 being her best trip, so there's no reason at all to expect her to go backwards. She's got a horrible gait, it has to be said, but Paul Harvey sticks. And I think on the form of the Prince of Wales, she has to be the top selection. From number 5, Misty Medal. Peak performance, according to punting form, was over the 1100 metres at Ascot. Harvey Racing have gone for the winkers here. I personally think she's probably better suited to the 1,000, but does get a lovely gate here. Is going to get a lovely, lovely run. Could potentially turn the tables. The weights and measures horse out of the Prince of Wales Stakes has to be Stageman, but the extra 100 metres of this race probably isn't ideal. He's very versatile. He can win from 10 to 12, but if he asked me to nail down what is his best trip, it would have to be the 1,000. And then number 3, Battle Hero, who was wide first up in the Prince of Wales Stakes. Forget that run, he draws gate number 3 here, and I think he could certainly be there or thereabouts. Cracking race number 8, going with number 6, Flirtini, to beat 5 Misty Medal, 9 Stageman and 3 Battle Hero. Race number 9 at Ascot on Saturday will jump at 5:47. It's the Crown Towers Handicap over 1600 metres in replay. Going to go off the beaten track here and go to a trial at Lark Hill, featuring Ombudsman.
Quickly in the centre, piece de resistance. Mississippi Delta back down to the cutaway and running on from the back of the field now and getting home powerfully is Star Exhibit. Star Exhibit raced up on the outside. Mississippi Delta. Ombudsman still there. Down the centre of the track, Star Exhibit and Mississippi Delta settle to fight it out. Ombudsman holds down third. Mississippi Delta, Star Exhibit over the top. Star Exhibit beats second. Mississippi Delta a couple.
Ombudsman is a new recruit to WA and to Hayden Ballantyne's yard. He's come from Chris Wallace stable at Rosehill. He's potentially a Perth Cup horse, I think, for Hayden and his good mates in the ownership. I really, really like the trial here. Mitchell Pateman Road. Star Exhibit won it. We all saw what Star Exhibit did last week. Fresh first up in a feature race, and I think Ombudsman was going every bit as good as Star Exhibit to the line. Jason Whiting takes the ride here at 56 kilos, and I think that Ombudsman might offer some value in the final race. Goes on top from number 3, he's one of mine, Nelson's Flight. He's had 35 days off since his last one. He's drawn wide, but I don't think that's a concern. He'll roll pretty much to the front, and he's really good fresh as well. Number 14 is probably your likely favourite in Sublime Image down the bottom here with 55 kilos for William Pike. This is the full sister of the virus hit Windstorm, but this is a massive step up in class, and she hasn't really wowed anybody yet in winning the maiden and the Class 1 at Bunbury. And then the final selection is number 4, Inflation. Beat all bar Massimo last time out. That form has been franked, albeit in a very differently run race, but gets a nice gate here, and Mitchell Pateman rides this horse. Top selection in race number 9, going a bit wide, 8 Ombudsman to beat 3 Nelson's Flight, 14 Sublime Image and 4 Inflation. It's now time to nominate my best bets on the Ascot card. Going in race number 2 with number 9, More Aces, and then in race number 6, number 4, Forceful to win at listed level in the Gold Cup. It's easy to stay up to date with everything that's happening at Perth Racing. You can log onto our website or you can follow us on one of our various social media channels. Until next time, goodbye.